Are we live? Are we live? What's going on? Did I mute? There we go. We are live. Okay, I hit the wrong tab and it kicked me out of the studio. Are you talking? Why can't I hear you? Oh, shit! I broke the. I broke the
Because I
whole.
was muted.
I broke. Oh, okay. So it wasn't you. All right. So I broke the whole damn system.
We are
Uh,
professionals.
we are. We are. All right, let's start this again. We are here. We go. I'll in post production. I will fix all of that. I will slice
Nice.
that all out in post production. Here we go. We are live from a very snowy. We got like that much snow. I know it's nothing compared to North Dakota and William, but and
Yeah,
other places. But I'm just saying. Um, from a snowy Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and as well as somewhere in North Carolina. No
that's
idea
right.
where he is. Somewhere in North Carolina. Doesn't matter.
NC.
This is Coffee Talk with Ryzak and Jeff. Ryzak, how are you doing? We will get to our announcement in a minute.
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Living the dream. Living the
Yeah.
dream.
How are those feet? Are those feet they warming up a little bit or
They're fine. Fine. You people, I saw there was somebody in our community who was all had coats and hats and fur and mitts. I'm like, dude, you should just be. It's like beautiful weather out. It's like
looks
minus
like that looks
one.
like me at the ice skating rink when I go watch the games. I'm all bundled up. Got a blanket over me.
Oh my god, what is wrong with you people?
There's 80 degrees here. I can't help it.
What's wrong with you people? So big shout out to my friend, to a Men Reserve Community Crow resident and the certified doctor. We got to play the closed beta of the finals the other night. So I did a
Mhm.
special stream of that, and that was fun. That was very fun. It's kind of like Fortnite meets Call of Duty meets your basic.
Apex Legends a little bit. There's like a
Yeah, a
zip
little bit.
line and
Yeah, little zip line in
yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah. They posted an update because they're patching the game almost every day, and they patched it saying that they cut back the cooldown time on zip lines. And Crow's like, oh, that's why I fell off because I
I
jumped
saw
from
your
one to
guys'
the other one.
conversation.
I jumped from one to the other one. I couldn't figure out how I fell. I thought I missed the button. I thought I did something, but it turns
Yeah.
out there's a cooldown between that. So good time. So
Yeah.
good time. So yeah, we were playing that. It's four teams of three, and then you have to
Okay.
go and you've got to collect these. You got to go and collect these chests, and then you got to deliver them, um, and you get score your money, etc., and then
Right.
go from there. So yeah, good time.
That's awesome. We played some.
Good
We were
time.
trucking the other night too, so
We were trucking
was
the other
fun.
night, and you were out last night. You were at a big event last night. Big
I
deal. Big
did.
thing to you.
I did. We drove up to Richmond, Virginia, to Virginia Commonwealth University for the Virginia State Championship basketball game. The high school that not only I graduated from, but I used to coach basketball there.
Nice,
They were in the
nice.
state final, second year in a row. So they won. They won by 10, 9. I can't remember the final score. It was either 9 or 10. But that's the second year in a row they've won. They were undefeated last year, Jeff, and they only lost one game this year. So in 2 seasons, they are 64-1
Nice.
at the top level of Virginia state basketball. So very, very cool. My good friend Carlos Poindexter is the coach there. He graduated with me. He actually hired me to coach there with him. Um, got a lot of admiration for that dude. So he's doing some really good stuff. So took the kids up there and watched a little state playoff basketball, and then we got home at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, but that's all right. That's all right. It's
How long
always
the drive?
busy around here.
How long a drive was it?
It was 2.5 hours.
Oh wow.
It's all highway, so
Kid must have. Has your driving the truck helped with the drive with that?
you know, um, it's funny because driving the truck in those games is really it's fun to me because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my dad used to drive a tractor trailer before I was born. But when I was 14 years old, he put me behind the wheel. Probably shouldn't say this out loud, But when I was 14, he put me behind the wheel and told me to drive. And he taught me the rules of the highway. He taught me the rules of the tractor trailers. Taught me about them and how they drive. They've got so many gears. They've got to use momentum. When they're going down a hill, they're trying to pick up speed so that they can get up the hill. And there's a lot of folks that don't understand that out there on the road. So I'm always flashing my lights at them, letting them over, trying to be cognizant of where they are and what they're doing. And it's fun playing that game because I've driven trailers my whole life. I've always towed something. We used to have a 30-foot camper, like a travel trailer, that we used to tow around everywhere, my wife and my kids and I. So
nice.
I enjoy it, but
nice.
Yeah, man, it was we've always got something going, Jeff. I told you as soon as we got a soccer game, and then my son's got ice hockey assessments this afternoon. So constantly go around here. But at least Saturday mornings gives me a chance to catch up with you a little bit.
I have nothing going on.
Hockey.
I just sit here all day and game and watch sports. Yeah, I do nothing. I shovel snow. Yesterday I shoveled snow.
What were we watching? We were watching the hockey game the other night. That's what it was. It was Boston and Edmonton, and Edmonton beat Boston to give them their 9th loss of the season. Bruins are having a phenomenal year, but we're not talking NHL today, Jeff.
So hey, we got
Rue
Digley. It may have been the one I was talking about that was all bundled up,
maybe
walking back from the cesspool of a gym. So yeah, bundle up in the cold, crazy me.
Yeah.
And then you're clearly wrong in the head. Yeah. Yeah, 5 guesses. There will be 5 guesses. Oh, we're gonna get to that in a second.
You're scrolling it at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Right. You told me.
I thought you said you had a producer for this show, Jeff.
Yeah, he's asleep. No, and actually, technically, he's my sports producer.
Oh.
He helps me to produce all my sports content.
So does he only get to produce the sports conversations that we have on this coffee talk?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So you want to know what's going on. He was in the middle of Destiny yesterday when I had to break him the breaking news, which we're gonna talk about. So I had to go break him up. There we go. SPG, they got nailed with a storm. So yeah.
You got nailed with a storm. I was gonna have some really cool joke for that, but I decided to let it go.
All right. So what are we talking about today? So we're going to talk about, this is what we're going to talk about. But first, I want to let everybody know that Coffee Talk with Ryzak and Jeff is now sponsored by our good friends over at Wondershare. That is
pretty
correct.
Impressive.
Put a little link in the chat. So SPG is here. SPG and I both use a software package called Filmora, which is made by Wondershare. So if you've seen you ever seen our retro rewind intro? He did all that in Filmora. My shorts of gaming is done with CrossClip, but all my pajama videos and all my other videos, I suck those into Filmora. I do the transitions. It's got tons of audio, commercial-free audio, so you don't get whatever. So that's what we use. And so Wondershare now sponsors this. Link down there I threw a link in. You guys can get that little tiny bit helps us, but not a lot. But you know what? I love Filmora. Yes, I know there was controversy early this year. We're not going to talk about that because they did a make right. They listened to their community and they went, all right, you know what? We're bad. We are bad. We'll fix it. And they did. So it's all good. So Retro Gaming Friday Night is sponsored by NordVPN, and stay tuned for other things next week. So I know Simply Pond already bought it. I know.
You're gonna have to make a new shirt, Jeff. You're gonna have to get patches.
Get patches with all the like the NBA, like we talked about last week.
Exactly. Just like your uniform, you're gonna get a sponsored uniform.
That is true. All right, what is up first?
This week, up first, we've got some new champs, right? So UFC, you were excited about this. John Bon Jovi. I was about to say John Bon Jovi. John Bones Jones, man. First time back in the ring in 3 years, or the octagon, not the ring, right?
Yeah,
Won by submission 2
Mhm.
minutes into the first
2
round.
minutes and 4 seconds. And I was watching. I was
2
watching this. I was gaming with the gang, and I had these on. I had this on one of the televisions as I was watching that, so I was very excited. I think I was offline by the time this came on, but yeah,
Well, that's what I said there. His first fight in 3 years, right?
yep,
So that was the
yep,
COVID year. All the COVID
yep,
stuff started after that.
yep,
His next fight is to be determined still, but it looks like it's going to be what is it, Miocic? Is that how you
yeah.
say his name?
I'm not really sure. He was at the fight. He was there, and
Yes.
he said, "I want you." And then he's just standing there, just no expression, just standing there
Yeah.
listening to it all. And then they interviewed him afterwards, and yeah, so I think he said, yeah, let's get her done.
Jones
Yeah,
said after the fight when they were interviewing him that when he had him in the choke, he could hear his spine cracking.
nice, nice. I know we got 5 questions later, but who are his brothers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Super Bowl
Roy Jones?
champion, Super Bowl champion Chandler Jones and Arthur Jones.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know Chandler Jones was his brother.
Chandler Jones and Arthur Jones. Everybody knows Chandler. Nobody knows Arthur. They were both there. They were both in the audience. They were both there ringside, and they were both in the ring. No, I'm calling it a ring after, but yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody talks about the Watt brothers growing up. Everybody talks about the Bosa brothers. Nobody ever talks about the Jones brothers growing up. With 2 of them are professional football players, and one is a champion or champion NFL players, and the other one is a champion MMA fighter. Like
Now that I know that Chandler Jones is related, I'm not as surprised. Because Chandler Jones had some things going on too when he left New England to Arizona, didn't he?
He did. Yep.
So
So that is his. Those are his brothers. So that's quite a family. Dad was there, and Dad was on the was in the octagon after the win, and with his brothers, and yeah, good times.
And John here, he's been subject of a lot of criticism from the failed, I guess, drug tests, right?
Yeah.
He's failed a couple of drug tests for different reasons. I know he fought Daniel Cormier a few times. There was some controversy there. I know Daniel Cormier
he called
had
an
interview after the fight.
He called the fight.
He
was
did.
There.
He did.
There. Yeah, he was there calling the fight.
They interviewed him afterwards, and he said point blank that if John Jones goes through Miocic the same way that he did this, there's nobody that's going to beat him. Like what's left is basically what he was saying. I don't know enough about UFC to know what the stockades look like, but when somebody that has fought against the person and been in that battle is saying that, I'm gonna listen, I think. So we also had
that was not the big news. That was not the big news of the evening.
No. There was the other fight, which was Alexa Grasso, right?
Yes.
This was a huge upset.
All hail Mexico.
Yep.
Yes.
So you can see on the screen, she won there in the 4th round. She had that choke. What happened was Shevchenko went to go do like a spinning kick or a throw or something, and she dodged it and then grabbed on real quick. They in the interview afterwards, she said she had been training for that for months because she knew that she spun. So that was a 9-fight winning streak for Shevchenko that was broken. Grasso, the 6-1 underdog, and she's the 3rd Mexican-born UFC champion, first female.
You can kind of see it in your picture, but Rogan spotted it live, and then he made the truck find the video. When she right as she released the chokehold, her face obviously was red. There was a white line where her arm was. You could see where the blood had stopped because when she released it, you could literally see her face. You can kind of see her face is red, but then you could see the white from where her arm, had choked her.
Hey, she's locked in real good here. I mean, she's got this arm over tight right behind the
Yes.
ear. This
Hmm.
hand is right under, fingers on the arm, and her chin is pushing her hand down. She has
Yep.
just an amazing grip on that right there. So,
Yep.
um, good,
Yeah.
good for her. Six to
Exactly.
one underdog. I mean, anybody that bet on that fight's probably loving it right now, right?
Oh, I
So,
saw. Shout out to my friends over at the Action Network. They post a lot of. There was a bunch of posts they had about people who had bet and won. See, she was on a 9 fight winning streak, and they talked about this during the broadcast too. Um, when you have somebody, and the same thing with Ronda Rousey when she was winning all those, it
mhm.
elevates everybody else because
Yeah,
everybody else then has to watch, everybody else has to practice harder, everyone else has to train harder. They watch film. She
yep.
watched film, she knew her tendencies, and as soon as she did it, boom, she acted right. And
Oh,
it
we
just
talk about it
elevates.
with football all the time. You know,
Yes,
teams that play, and I said this to my friends at the basketball game last night. Those two teams had played each other like the first or the second game of the season, right?
yes.
Um,
Hmm.
you're different. You're different now than you were then. Number
Uh-huh.
one, but
Uh-huh.
now you have so much film. You have
Hmm.
so much film that you can study now, right?
Correct.
She got to watch
Correct.
9 championship level fights of this girl to learn
Hmm.
all of her tendencies. And all it
Hmm.
took was that one moment to make sure that she
Yep.
was in the moment. She was
Correct.
coherent, right? And
Yep.
she watched that spin and then she jumped and it was
Hmm.
lights out. That's it. That's
That's
all
it.
it takes.
That's it. We talked about this last week. Whenever I used to, producer and I, we would go, oh, because people would say, oh, why'd they run that play? That was just stupid. I'm like, they're putting it on film. So
Yep.
now other teams have to spend time when they could be practicing something else. They have to defend this other move that teams will probably never show again, but they did it once and they could do it again. So yeah.
Why are playoff sports so much more intense than regular season sports? Because now all the gloves come off.
Yeah.
There's no more toying around. There's
No,
there's no more
you're
trying stuff.
one and done in some sports.
Yeah. You're
Football, you're
you're
one
you're
and
in.
done. Baseball, you've got bet 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, whatever.
Yeah.
College basketball is going to start next week, and you're one and done. Like that's it. There's no rematch. I
Yeah.
was rooting for Kentucky. Kentucky lost last night. They couldn't hit a free throw to save their bloody lives. It's like, oh my god, really, dude? And then there were some injuries, but the free throws killed them last night. Again,
I,
they're yeah, they're gonna make the
I
tournament,
tell
but
you, if you like college basketball, this is the greatest. This is the
we will be
greatest
talking
time of
about the
year right
brackets
now.
next week. Next week we will talk
Yes, we
NCAA.
will, and
We will be talking.
we're gonna do some brackets too. So,
Well, I'll have mine done by then, so you will
well, we're
see it
gonna
on stick to the Twitters. You will
we're
see it.
gonna do it.
We are
All
gonna
right,
see it.
what do we
All right,
got
what's next?
next, Jeffy?
What's next?
Oh, your boy, Doctor Disrespect.
The second biggest doctor in our community, real certified doctor, obviously is the biggest doctor in our community. But the second biggest doctor in our community would be this guy. The only problem is he doesn't know our community exists. But one day,
Not really. Not
one day,
really.
one day, baby steps, baby steps.
He had an interesting tweet the other day.
Hmm.
It came
Hmm.
up. Let me pull it up right here.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
talking about digital collectibles and NFT games, specifically like an extraction type game. And you made light. You guys are playing that new game that he and Tim the Tap Man have been pumping. Um, and
Yep.
we talked about this a little bit beforehand. I'm fascinated by this. Do I like it? I don't think I do, but I'm
Hmm.
fascinated by it because
Hmm.
I think about movies where like take Squid Games, for example. The show
Hmm.
Squid Games that was just very popular on Netflix. Mr. Beast goes and does a video like it to give
Hmm.
money away.
Hmm.
Think about all of the Mr.
Hmm.
Beast videos that he does. The touching the car, who takes their hand off the car is out of the circle. All those things that he does. Right?
Uh-huh.
You're playing a game. You're
Hmm.
playing this game with your people. Say it's a Call of Duty type game or whatever. You're just playing team deathmatch, and all of a sudden you come across a part in the map and you find like a golden statue that in the NFT world is worth like 20 grand.
Hmm.
Now all of a sudden the game changes and you're not playing team deathmatch anymore. You're trying to get this valuable to an exit point of the game so that you can actually claim that in real life.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I just the idea is, I don't think it's a new idea, but I think that this is the first conversation that we've had about it in this new age of NFT. What do you think?
When we did another show with another person, we talked about NFTs in games, right?
Hmm.
STG football is all NFT. Well, they were going to be all crypto based, NFT based. But in order to get on Steam, Steam was like, yeah, we don't play in that world. You got to have credit card. Um,
Right.
um, so they had to make alternate plans. Um, is it well,
I'm sorry, you caught me off guard.
everybody has their own. Everyone has their own. Fun fact: Doctor Disrespect doesn't like Crow resin. So
Oh.
I have no idea. Crow knows I love him, and I'm only joking. Um, NFTs are here to stay. I think I need to get an NFT expert on the business of. I need to do that this year.
Yeah. Do you
Gary
know what the
V.
sandbox game is? Have you seen the sandbox game?
I've seen it, never played it.
Hmm. So
I will.
I
I'll get
downloaded
I'll
it.
get
I
around
played
to
it.
it one day.
I downloaded it. I played it one time,
Mm.
and I keep getting stuff sent to me all the time about it now. But
Yeah.
it's basically like a Minecraft style game,
Yeah.
or like a Roblox style game, but you can earn sand, which is one of the cryptos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can earn sand while you're playing the game. And then you put that over in like your MetaMask wallet, and then you can, do
Yeah.
what you want with it. I do.
Mhm.
I have uh, I do drip. I think I told you
Mhm.
about this once before. It's
You
it's
do. You do.
deflationary, right? But it's the
Yep.
value of all this stuff has just dropped so low right now that
Yes,
it's
sir.
definitely a long term thing. You
Yep.
gotta wait for it to loop back. The cool thing
Yep.
about what I'm doing is that I earn 1% interest every day on whatever I've put in. So I continue to rack up, and then I just have to wait for the value to return. So
Sure.
it's cool. I
Um,
mean, it's not for everybody.
well,
I just wanted to try it.
don't forget, several years ago, there was a game, a shooter game, and they were like, "Hey, you want to buy better outfits? Sure, here, look at this.
Mhm.
You can buy better outfits." Some people were like,
Yeah,
"What the hell?" And now every game you can buy better outfits. I'm talking, of course,
yeah,
for Fortnite.
yeah.
And loot boxes in every EA game. That's how EA makes their money. Is they convince these 12-year-olds to spend thousands of dollars on loot boxes on the chance to get
Oh, look
a
at
card
FIFA
that a card. That's what I'm
specifically.
talking about.
Yeah, with the
Well,
foot.
yeah, yeah, and Madden with the mutt and the hockey with the hut and to give a false illusion that 99 overall card is going to make you better when I can defeat I can defeat anyone who claims to be the greatest Madden player out on PC with my 60 overall team by using my punter as a quarterback and running a play that no matter what 99 overall team he has, he can't stop. But anyways, um, so yeah, Square Enix announced they were going to have NFTs. Gary V, everyone knows and loves
Love Gary V.
or hates Gary V.
Love
His
Gary
V
V.
friends, it's all NFT. You want to go to his VCon, it's all NFT based.
Hmm.
STG football, other games are doing it, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, in a sense, isn't it really the same thing as
mm,
all of the microtransactions? I
yes,
mean,
exactly
it
the same.
follows
It is.
suit.
It is. It is.
It's
It is.
and we've
It
had
is.
that in games forever. Think about
We
free to
have.
play games. Think about mobile games.
Yep.
I used to play a mobile
Hmm.
game called Clash of Clans. I don't know
Hmm.
what you know about that one. For a while there, it was making so much money for Supercell. I mean, like so much money. I think the last time I looked it up, and I could totally be wrong on this. I know we got some fact checkers here, but I think the game that brings in the most money is Roblox.
It's either that or Fortnite.
I think Roblox is like the leader, if I'm not mistaken, and the number was staggering if I recall. And it was
Mm.
like, man, are these kids stealing people like their parents' credit cards? Like, who is
Yeah, pretty
buying
much.
all this stuff in Roblox?
David, we don't care about racist British people in a sport we don't care about. Well, actually, I guess Ryzak's daughter cares about it, but
I do care about the football.
there you go. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see
Yeah,
because he's right. People are buying skins in games. Fun fact: if in Fortnite, I think I have 2 skins. I have whatever the default skin was, and then I got the whatever the PlayStation special skin. So I watch these people; they got thousands of them, and even when Rudigs and the Rudiglets play, they have all these skins. I have 2. I literally have 2.
Only skins I have are the ones I get for free.
So that's why I got the default one that came with it when I installed the game, and then I got a special PlayStation one.
I haven't played Honor of Kings. Genshin Impact is, I feel like I get a email from GeForce Now every day about I should play Genshin Impact.
Yep.
If I'm saying that right. Genshin, I think it's Genshin.
All right, so we're going to move on to the real football.
The real football news. This is an important topic in your household right now because your producer is
my sports producer is a huge Jets fan, and he is sitting there just counting the minutes until Aaron's. I think it's a foregone conclusion that Aaron's coming based on.
Well, he just met with the Jets brass in California, right?
Contract ready to go. They have
Woody Johnson said it's all but assured. They've already started dumping contracts.
They have. But they've both been picking up a guy. They picked up Chucky yesterday. My son was very excited about Chucky. He was very excited about Chucky.
He's a good safety. He comes from that Baltimore system. You know how they coach him in Baltimore.
Yep. So he's not racist. He's just talking race and immigration policy. Cool. Did I miss? But Roblox is in the top 5. Oh, there you go. So that should happen whenever I don't know what he's doing. Oh, did you hear? I think it's in May in Colorado. I'm not sure if he's the keynote speaker, but he's the featured speaker at a psychedelic conference.
Excellent. I love it. He's going to talk to him about his trip to the dark.
I guess so. And the other psychedelics and stuff, but I don't know if he's the keynote, but he's a featured speaker on this website of this psychedelic conference in.
I was playing Sons of the Forest yesterday, waiting for us to leave for the basketball game, and I slipped into this cave, and it was nice and dark. And I said to myself, "I wonder if this is what Aaron Rodgers felt like."
Yeah. Oh,
he's got some weird things going on upstairs.
Robert Paulson says mobile games dominate the highest grossing games. So there you go.
I want to ask you a question about Aaron Rodgers real quick, Jeff.
Okay.
Tom Brady played until 45, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is 38. Can you take 7 more years of Aaron Rodgers drama?
I think he's 39. I think.
Can you take 6 more years of Aaron Rodgers
drama? Sure. Why not?
Aaron Rodgers is the Kyrie Irving of the NFL.
That could be. Here's another fun fact. 15 years ago, Green Bay quarterback left after 15 years of being their quarterback and went to the New York Jets. And here we are, 15 years later, the Green Bay quarterback moving possibly, hopefully, to the New York Jets.
So wait, does that mean he'll only be in New York for like a year or 2 and then he'll go play in Minnesota?
Yeah, maybe. Potentially.
Jordan Love, you better start taking some stock out. Jordan Love.
That is the thing. That is it. Yeah. So, anyways, stay tuned. Stay tuned to my Twitter because when it happens, I will be tweeting it. There will be a lot of yelling in this house. Yes, sir.
You have been keeping up at length with the NFL draft, right? And after last weekend, there was a big move in the draft boards. They think that Anthony Richardson might be the number 1 pick now. Were you impressed with him, Jeff?
I was.
When you watched him?
I was. Yes. His only flaw, the only misstep he had, was after when he did the backflip and he didn't stick the landing. But he killed it in all of the. He killed it in all of the athletic challenges. From what the reports are, he killed it in the interviews.
He's fast as all get out, right? He's got a big arm.
He calls
The
himself
mobile
Cam
quarterback
Jackson.
is
He calls himself Cam
enticing.
Jackson. Calls himself Cam
Yep.
Jackson because he's like Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
NFL Network, Mooch, brings all the quarterbacks into a room and throws them up, and he describes an old 49er play. And then, so he interviews them, throws
when Steve Young was there.
Or that other guy. Yeah, or that other guy, depending on but usually Steve Young, because that's who he coached.
Yeah.
And he had that other guy, number 80, I believe. He had a wide receiver. I think he did okay. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So he did. So he brings them in. He throws up something on the whiteboard, interviews them, then he flips the whiteboard over and he goes, "Draw me my play and explain it to me again." And the guy killed it. One of the best I saw, better than probably some of the other. Everybody did really well on it, but he did probably the best.
We don't have the slide for it up here, but the interview process can make or break a lot of players, right? And they CJ Stroud, who's the Ohio State quarterback, he gets up in front of the press and they interview him, and they're like, tell me a little bit about you. What do you think you're like? And he's like, well, I look up to Deshaun Watson and Michael Vick. And it's like, okay, somebody did not coach this guy what to say in the job interview, man. You are potentially the number one pick, and you are going to say that you are like two of the most controversial quarterbacks from the past 20 years for off the field stuff, not the play on the field. And I know his thoughts were on the field, right? He was trying to compare himself as an athlete, but it was an eye opener, So
what's going to happen with Jalen Carter?
Did I say the guy from Notre Dame? I thought I said the guy from Ohio State.
No, I thought you said Ohio State. But
I don't know.
What's going to happen with Jalen Carter? Where I am unsure. What
he got indicted, didn't he?
So he went out. He went and turned himself in. Then he was back at the combine the next day. I'm unsure.
I thought I read yesterday that they indicted him.
Well, we'll wait and see. He turned himself in. He's fully cooperating. So, hey, what's going to happen to him is intriguing. I do not know where to put him on my new mock draft that I will probably do.
Do you think that he could get passed over completely and then possibly get picked up in the compensation draft? A la A.L. Collins, a la a Terrell Pryor, a la I guess Randy Gregory didn't get picked up in the compensation picks, but I kind of compare the situation a little bit to Randy Gregory. I know that the crimes are completely different, or the allegations. The allegations are completely different. You're talking about weed. You're talking about somebody dying, right? It's not the same. But for whatever reason, I think about that because Randy Gregory was really high up on that board, and then, right?
Yep. So we joke, producer and I, we joke about, he'll be a perfect cowboy because we like the ex-cons.
You definitely have a rap sheet there.
You know what? If he doesn't get drafted, he doesn't get drafted, and if he doesn't get drafted, and we just pick him up, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. So,
dang it, that's the one that I missed this week. Yeah, we got some NBA news later. Maybe we'll bring up Sean Kemp. I forgot to include him this week. One more. Oh my God! Wait a second.
This broke
late yesterday.
Right before I went live. I almost had to delay my stream going live. If they had waited a few more minutes, it would have delayed my stream. This went down.
Was unbelievable.
Yeah, but we knew it was coming.
We
knew it was coming.
I have a hard time with the valuation given to players during trades, right? There's a lot of things that go into it because the salary cap, contracts that were signed, the teams are seeing these players all year long. They're watching them check in. It's not like in the off season, these guys, you don't see them for 6 months. They're constantly coming back to the facility. There's still meetings every,
Keep
There's still a
talking.
lot of things going on.
Keep
So
talking. I'm listening.
you've got the number one pick in the draft, which this year is going to be very valuable because there are 4 quarterbacks that could go number one. And the Bears didn't need a quarterback. They have Justin Fields. Justin Fields had an amazing, last 3 quarters of the year last year. But he has no help. I mean, he did it all with his legs, right? So here comes Carolina. They've got a shitty quarterback situation. Haven't had a decent quarterback since Cam Newton. And they go all in. They got a new coach, Frank Wright. They got a whole new offensive staff as far as coaches, defensive staff as coaches. They're all in. They've got to build. And how do you build? Sometimes you got to give up to get, right? So it was like the number 9 pick, the number 34 pick, a first-round pick next year, a second-round pick the year after that, and DJ Moore, who had a down year last year, 800 yards. He still caught 7 touchdowns. But he's a stud, man. He's an absolute stud. He's going into his 5th year in the league. He's been a 1,000-yard receiver with trash QBs. Went to the University of Maryland. My good friend Brian Cobbs that I coached, that I've told you is in the draft this year. He played with him at Maryland. I mean, this is a fantastic trade for the Bears. They didn't need the number 1 pick, and look at what they get. So I think it's the biggest haul, the biggest jump since 2016 when the Rams jumped up for Jared Goff. And it mirrors what the Redskins gave to the Browns for the rights of the 2nd pick when they took RG3. So
Micah Parsons was trolling Houston yesterday. He's like, can you imagine what would be done if Houston hadn't won that meaningless game at the end of the season? They had the number 1 pick all sewn up. They won that pick at the end of the year, or they won that game at the end of the year, and now they got the number 2 pick. But as producer Jeffrey says, he goes, okay, so you get what, the 2nd best quarterback, or if they're going to go Anthony Richardson,
CJ Stroud,
you're going to get CJ, you're going to get Bryce, you're going to get Will
who's
Levis.
the other
Will
kid
Levis.
from there you go, thank you.
So
and some people have him as number 1.
That's your consolation prize,
Yes.
Now the bigger question is what's going to happen to Will Anderson? Will Anderson is the best player. Excuse me, Will Anderson's the best player in the draft, right? Everybody all but had him going to Chicago with that 1st pick. Is he going to be there now at number 9?
Because these quarterbacks are going to go flying off the board. I mean, no matter what mock draft you look at, all 4 of them are gone in the top 10.
So,
a lot of QB needy teams.
Agreed. But is Will Anderson? Will he still be there at 9 for the Bears to get him, or is Arizona's not going to go quarterback? So it is going to be interesting to see how the dominoes. So start paying attention to my mock drafts, and start paying attention to the mock drafts. How we all us draft guys all get together. We all start shifting players around on our big boards. So
there was one more NFL story this week. We had touched on this a few weeks back.
There's many NFL stories this week, but
you read through this. You really enjoyed this. You want to share this one? I read it too, but I know.
So for those that don't know, Calvin Ridley bet on a football game, and he was suspended indefinitely. So he missed all of last season.
Now he bet on it while he was not playing, right?
Correct.
He was out. He was out with what did he have? Anxiety or
it's a mental health
depression. There was mental health. Thank you.
Correct. So this week the NFL has reinstated him. So that's only going to make Jacksonville even more dangerous, which we all said when that happens. But he penned this letter. He penned this letter, just basically not making excuses, but just explaining things about where he was. And he's got a wife, and he's got a kid, and he was injured. And when things don't, when you're losing, people say things to him. We forget that our favorite athletes are still humans. And, he's out with his wife and daughter, and people are yelling at him and saying things negative toward him because of whatever happened in a game that, and it took its toll on him. And so, the tweets out there, you can, I think I retweeted it with some comments. Use the hashtag JMG Sports to find out all of my tweets around sports. Um, but um,
I don't
but yeah,
think he made any excuses in it. I mean, people can spin it that way, but I mean,
no,
you
he
have
didn't
to
make any.
explain
No,
yourself,
he didn't
right?
make any.
It's
No,
not an excuse
he
if you're
just said,
explaining
here's
yourself.
what's going on. Here's what's going
Yep.
on. Here's what's going on
Yep.
in our life, and we sometimes hear of guys, sports people getting injured, or oh, he's got this. So it's like, oh, suck it up, you're a pro athlete, but they have wives, they have kids, they have.
I mean, the guy basically played on a broken foot the entire year, and all they
Correct.
did was just keep shooting him with painkillers, man. That's enough
Yep.
to make anybody go crazy.
Yep. Yep.
He said he looked at Julio Jones and he was like, dude, I don't even know how I'm doing this.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he was the number one guy the next year, and so there's
there's a lot of pressure on some of these guys.
Not everybody handles it the same way. Not everybody has the same tools. Not everybody has the same situations presented. So
nope, exactly.
I love the Players Tribune. I like when the players can open up a little bit and they have a platform to maybe get a little more personal, because it's hard to do that on social media, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
You somebody puts something on social media and you go to the comments and it's just nothing but hatefulness, right? So I thought it was pretty cool of him to do this. Now, he can kind of get past that, focus on the season, move in, and hopefully be a good target for Trevor Lawrence, man. They should have a nasty offense next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They should.
I'm glad they're in the AFC. Right? Glad they're in the AFC.
There you go.
Glad they're in the glad they're in the AFC. Well, we didn't even talk. We're not even going to get to talk about. Maybe there'll be another sports show on Tuesdays we can watch. That'll go in depth on some of these.
Perhaps.
But anyways, that's NFL news. That's our NFL.
You've got the biggest event in. Well, I don't know what circles you want to call it, but it is the 95th Academy Award, the Oscars, if you will.
Remember, folks, when we planned this, we talk about everything. We talk about pop culture.
That's
we
right.
talk about anything. And
right.
this is I think this is the biggest event of the weekend.
Biggest event of the weekend, and so they listed out the nominees, right? And you and I kind of talked through this a little bit. I don't know half of this stuff.
Oh, I don't know any of these. I half of these I haven't even heard of. Yeah, I heard of the Batman. I heard of the Tom Cruise thing.
I haven't.
What movie did you say you saw?
I saw. It's on one of the last slides here. Top Gun. I saw Top. Oh, All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
And I'm like, did they remake that movie?
I tell you, we actually were talking the other day about going to the movies, and my daughter was like, "What's playing?" Like, I don't know what's going on in Hollywood. I don't know what's going on with movies. I know Avatar. We tried to see Avatar around Christmas and missed it, and I don't know when I'll get to see Avatar 2. But I know Elvis was a big movie last year, so that's probably gonna win some of these awards. Again, I haven't seen a lot of this, and I feel like that's disrespectful to these people. Like, I see some names in here: Cate Blanchett. Michelle Williams, Jamie Lee Curtis, Angela Bassett. Oh, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is probably going to do.
Oh, I saw that.
Well, right?
Oh, I saw that.
That's probably going to do really well.
If it's a Marvel movie, guaranteed I will have seen it.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure that got really great reviews from people that saw it.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming to the Disney Plus, so I'll watch it on the Disney Plus. But
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Where am I missing all of these things, man?
Is he the guy on Jimmy Kimmel?
That's not him.
Oh, that's not him. Oh, okay. Another Guillermo. Okay, he's my go-to Guillermo. It's the only Guillermo I know.
Oh, man.
He's the guy on Kimmel.
Costume design. That's got to go to Black Panther, right? Come on.
I don't know. Elvis. They had to make all those Elvis costumes.
Yeah, well. Directing, Steven Spielberg's in here. You would think that's a shoe-in, but probably not.
Is he?
Feature film.
Yeah, see, I'm with you, Crow.
Short
out of
film.
movies, just not a priority anymore. I know.
Film editing. That's an interesting one. I want to know about the film editing. The Banshees of Inisherin.
there's a few movies that are coming out in the spring, summer that Big O Mac and I will probably go see. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but we'll go to the drive-in. Big O Mac and I'll go to the drive-in because I just don't want to go to a COVID-infested movie theater. So Purple says score will probably go to All Quiet on the Western Front. They've been lobbying hard for it. Okay, cool.
And I want to focus on that. They've been lobbying hard for that because part of this whole thing is that these awards are like a sales pitch, right?
Yeah.
Like as soon as these nominees come out, the actors, actresses, co-stars, people, that work on the movie, it's like a campaign.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So awesome that she said that because it is very much like it's like dealing with the presidential election. Like I feel like everywhere I turn, somebody's like, "Oh, you should vote for this person," or "This movie was amazing." And so, All Quiet on the Western Front was, I think that one is going to do well, like she said. Music, there
Netflix.
You go.
I'll have to. What if it's on Canadian Netflix? If it's not on Canadian Netflix, then I can use Retro Gaming Friday Night sponsored NordVPN to be able to connect and watch it on American Netflix.
What do you think about this category here, Jeff? Best Picture.
Which is an interesting category.
This is the slide we were talking through, and I said I've seen 2 of these.
I don't think I saw any of them. Is Wakanda on there? I saw Wakanda. I haven't seen Elvis.
Wakanda is not on there. You've got Avatar. You've got All Quiet on the Western Front.
If they come to Prime or Netflix, I guess I will.
I want to know how to say that. Is it tar?
You have to roll the R. I can't roll my R.
No, it's the A. The A has the
it's
apostrophe over it though, right? So how is it? Is it like a
long
A?
Accent aigu.
Accent aigu. Ta.
There you go.
Well, that'll be an interesting production design. Man, All Quiet on the Western Front is like in every single one of these. Them and Elvis. Well, I guess not.
So Purple.
Oh, there you go.
Category to lobby for.
Hey, check it out. It's your it's your show. Your short film is on there.
Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse?
No, the 4th one.
Oh, My Year of Dicks. All right. Purple says Fablemans. It seems like I could see winning. All right. I have no idea.
That's the Steven Spielberg movie.
You know what we haven't talked about?
I'm really out of touch with this stuff, man.
You know what we haven't talked about? And I think Crow Resin and I talked about it when they the new Woody Harrelson's Coach movie. I know we haven't talked about it, but that looks hilarious. That looks hilarious. It's not a Academy Award winning, but the Batman. I wanted to see that. I wonder if I could watch that.
I think you should live stream the Oscars, Jeff, and you should pick the winners of all of this beforehand and run a tally.
Yeah, sure. I'd be like for however many there are. I might get one. I might get lucky with one.
I can't remember the last time I watched an award show, man. Even the video game awards. I don't even watch the video game awards.
Oh, I watched the NFL honors. Of course, I watched the.
Everybody's going to tell me about it anyway as it happens, so I can just stay on Twitter.
I watched.
Plus, Jeff Keighley, he annoys the shit out of me.
I will watch parts of it. I will because Jimmy Kimmel is hosting. And I'm a big fan of the Kimmel. He's my favorite of all the Jimmys. He's my favorite. So I will watch the beginning with him, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about what happened last year. So that'll be fun. And then I'll probably mute it and have sports on. And then whenever Jimmy comes out on stage, I'll demute just to hear the jokey jokies. I like the jokey jokies. But apart from that.
Perp, I used to love the movies. I used to always go to the movies. It was like the thing to do. I think COVID killed it. I think COVID slowed a lot down, and we're just so busy. But I do know that AMC, they're coming out with like a pricing structure, right? To charge you like a monthly fee in order to be able, no, it's not that. It's not that they're you pay by seat.
Yeah. You want better seats, you gotta pay more. Yeah.
And that's interesting.
Like you, when my kids were younger, I would have seen all the animated movies that were nominated for best animation and best this, best that. So like the Incredibles.
Well, and then when my kids went to bed, my wife and I would watch movies, right? Like, I mean, we just always were watching something.
Yeah. But now you're a world-class gamer. Now you're a world-class gamer and
definitely not a world-class gamer
and Rocket League professional.
I'm trying to be a
So
world-class dad, and I'm struggling with time. There's just not enough time. So
it's true. But in a few
that
years,
is
they'll be long gone. So
and then I can focus on being a world-class gamer, Jeff. It's all part of
there
the
you go.
plan. All a
That's it.
part of the plan.
That's it.
All right. Writing. Did I have one more? Or is it going to go to the next slide? I can't remember.
Mm.
Either way, we'll get into it. Oh, we got. There we go. All right. Here we go. Let's jump into some of these topics, huh?
Yeah. These folks are just quick bangers. We're not going to talk about them. These are just little
Yeah.
noteworthy tidbits that crossed my Twitter feed and other newsletter, other TLDLs that I get.
Did you see the? I think it was a Netflix special. There was a guy that lived in Mexico that was a part of the press down there, and he kept getting a Super Bowl pass to go to the Super Bowl. And he would get back into the locker rooms, and then he would take items from the players and then take them back home to Mexico. And the last one that he took was Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey. That last Super Bowl that they won with New England, he
Mm-hmm.
stole Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey and then tried to sell it, and that's how he got
Mm-hmm.
hemmed up.
Yeah.
But I say that in precursor to this because it reminded me almost, of that, because this dude is 82 years old, and throughout the course of 4 years, he was running a racket ring with another guy
Mm-hmm.
about fake cards, and he racked up like 800 grand.
Mm-hmm. And we talked last week about LeBron cards going down and other things. And on Retro Rewrite, shout out to Miss Tracy Ray and SPG. We've talked about gaming cards and being, other collectibles being sold for $1 million. A group of
Yep.
people, and the whole racket that is the pricing of video game cards and other collectibles, and so it's the same
Yeah.
thing. So I love it when these 80-plus-year-old guys are doing something. Like, you go, boy, you go. Why do it in your 70s? Why do it in your 70s?
And what sucks is that, like, he's going to wind up getting probably 25 years for doing this. He's going to spend the rest of his life in jail unless he can plea out. Like,
yeah,
unreal. Just for some cards. Like, you did it over some basketball cards, man.
Yep.
I brought this up. The video is not here. I watched this the other day, and I'm very critical of Kyrie. I am very critical of Kyrie.
You referred to somebody as the Kyrie.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving are quite similar because they're not afraid to just talk about what they think. They don't care about the backlash. Aaron Rodgers he was very vocal about COVID and the jabs and everything else. Kyrie's been very vocal about, flat earth and as well the jabs. And, I commend them for not giving a crap and saying what they want to say. But, I was watching this video. It's a lot longer than this 121 clip, but he's got, he's burning some sage, and he's like getting real spiritual and stuff. And some of the stuff that he says is I can relate to it. I can understand. But then he gets into this quote right here. He says it's 15 guys on the team, and I'm the one cancer in the room. That's what's portrayed. These older, bitter gentlemen and women keep my name in their mouths every day, talking about the sports media and this and that. And my only thought to that is where there's smoke, there's fire. And you didn't want to stay in Cleveland. They sent you to Boston. It didn't work out in Boston. They send you to Brooklyn. COVID happens, you get a bunch of controversy with the COVID stuff. They bring in Harden, they bring in Durant, they bring in all these guys. It doesn't work out there. Now you're down in Dallas, and now it's, oh yeah, he's going to be with Luca, and he's going to be on this team, and
I said that.
it's
I said
still
that.
the same
I,
Kyrie. It's still the same.
I said that.
The basketball player is a wizard. He is amazing as a basketball player. Okay, I'm not going to take away his skill as a player, but at some point in time, you got to do reality checks in life, man. You got to be able to look in the mirror and be critical of yourself. And I've never once heard him say something critical of himself. I always hear him defend himself like there's not a problem.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a problem. So that's why I'm critical of him, because if you're not going to take the time to be critical of yourself, then of course other people need to do it for you. Maybe you need to listen, dude. So that's my piece on Kyrie. Sorry.
There you go. That's okay. Why we're here. Why we do this show. Why we do this show.
He reminds me of most Duke graduates. Yes.
I like Duke. I like Duke.
I know you do. I know
like
you
Duke.
do.
I like Duke. I think they played NC last week. I wonder how that
They
turned
did.
out.
Duke Duke did play NC. They beat them. Baycott is playing on basically a pinky toe, and NC State's looking good right now. So this was big news last week. Thanks to Miss Purple Haze for being the first person I saw break it. After Stadia, Google unveils Google Cloud for live games strategy. So this is aimed more at helping publishers to get their games, out there in the cloud versus being the storefront for it. Correct?
Correct. Yep. Correct. So this is so someone like Joe could partner with Google for all of the tracking.
I like it.
Maybe that's next week. We'll have that. We can't rename that.
I figured Jeff would have the old man rant, but I guess I'm getting up there now.
Crow, I can do this. I can.
Oh boy.
I can do this, Crow. There you go. So there you go. There you go, Crow. Crow asks and I deliver. Crow asks and I completely deliver for the show.
Get this off my chest.
There you go. There you go.
Oh man. You commented. You commented on Purple's post and said you love it. I agreed with you.
Yeah. So basically, this is taken on basically Amazon, and I guess to a lesser extent, Azure and Microsoft. But this is for all of the tracking. This is for storing all of the progress. This is for all the detailed reporting, how many minutes played, how many collectibles people have, earning those NFTs, all back end, all of the stuff that Google Cloud does. Google Cloud, I've used Google Cloud in my professional life for not so much storing data, but I've used some of their stuff to pull in APIs and do some of their reporting with their Google Cloud stuff with some clients who did a bunch of stuff with Google. So all of that kind of stuff. So yes, I think it's not a slight on Stadia. Even if I firmly believe, and maybe I'm in the minority, if the downturn in the economy hadn't happened, Stadia would still be here. I think it's a casualty of the downturn in the economy. I'm sure Purple Haze and others know more behind the scenes stuff. That is my opinion.
I've been telling you for a while, Jeff, that the chatter that I hear in the data center world, it was all but inevitable that it was going to have to slow down, right? So the infrastructure, at least at the data center level, is not exactly where it needs to be.
You need a place to store all those NFTs, Crow. You are 100%.
It is growing every day. I can't even tell you. I could drive around the Research Triangle Park area right now, and I could probably point out 4 or 5 data center sites that are being built. it's not.
Do you mean
It's
data
not
centers?
gone. Data centers. Whatever. Tomato. Canadian.
Hey,
Whatever.
going back to Kyrie for a second. He's a flat
Oh
earther.
boy, he
He's
is
a
a
flat earther. Baloney? That's just a hot dog for flat earthers. Anyways, back to purple and the.
Oh,
I'm
I
here. I'm
think
here all week. I'm here all week, folks. Make sure you tip your waitress.
one thing about this is that Google's name is totally tied to this. So of course you're gonna get the jokes. Oh, this is what happened after Stadia. Blah blah. This has always been there. This isn't anything new.
No, not like they just invented
and
the Google Cloud. The Google Cloud. Major League Baseball. You ever watch you want to watch
all of their stuff runs off of Google Cloud. They were
Yeah.
advertising hard during the World Series behind home plate.
Yeah. I play MLB The Show. It comes up with my awesome stats, and it says powered by the Google Cloud right there in MLB The Show. It shows me how awesome I am.
Oh, Crow! Stop going with Jeff, okay? Gosh. Oh, but I mean, for all those people who are like, I'll never do anything Google. You do something Google every day. You just don't know it.
Exactly.
You won't play Google games. You won't play Google Cloud, but you'll send me an email from Gmail, won't you?
No, everybody is switching to. I've seen a number of creators completely say they're getting rid of their Gmail and they all move to Outlook. And everybody's using now Bing with the Chat GPT API built in. Everyone's using that. Nobody's Googling anymore. Everyone is using Bing with the
when you're
with
using
the Chat
your Garmin
GPT.
watch, or when you're using
Exactly.
your Fitbit or whatever it is that you have on your wrist that's not Apple, you can thank Google. So
Exactly.
All right,
And
what's the next one? Oh, what'd you want to say? I'm sorry, I cut you.
No, I forget what I was going to say. I was going to make fun of David, but that's okay.
Oh, we can do that any day, right? I think it's their play to try and cut out a piece of the market in a somewhat very similar market, cloud storage. Yeah, I think they own a big piece of it already. So, you stick
Google
with what's
Cloud,
comfortable.
Google Cloud, I think, is third behind AWS and Azure.
It's still a very big piece, though. That third is still a very big piece.
Yes.
So,
but I think, So I think someone like Joe, he could partner with them because, he's creating these games. If you don't know, it's just Joe. He needs a place to store all of his stuff, progress, where people got to, all of the NFTs, all of the, you got to store all that clothing, all those things, all those in-game purchases you're buying. You got to store them somewhere, right?
Yep.
And we often
I keep adding another gig to another 100 gigs to my cloud bank every other year. So
Yep.
WWE, CNBC reported that WWE is in talks to see if they can allow betting. This sounds like the most ridiculous idea ever. You're gonna bet on fake?
I kept forgetting. I love Darren Rovell. I love him. If you don't follow Darren Rovell on the Twitters, you need to. I meant to send this to a friend of mine because a friend of mine believes wrestling is real. So I forgot that I gotta dig this out of the things. I haven't sent out this week's newsletter yet, but of the show's newsletter. But
I couldn't imagine betting like. You can get absolutely baffles me.
I think this is great because I can find the scripts online. If you go through the dark web, I can get the script. So if I read the scripts, then I can go on Action Network and I can.
The fans of WWE will say that all the other things are scripted too.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the NFL is scripted. We know that.
Right, Arian Foster. Thank you.
Aaron Foster and I saw this and I once I stopped laughing, I had to put this on the list. It's like, oh my god. So there you go. Anything you want to get off your chest?
Last one here that I think I have on here is old news by now. Probably should throw the Sean Kemp thing in there as well. But John Morant goes out after the game. he's in the nightclub or the strip club, wherever they were, and he's, doing his, oh, I got my gun, look at me, and the crazy thing about it is that right before they went out, Steven Adams, veteran center on the team, Australian, big beast, beefy man, right, addresses the team and says, hey, when we're out on the road, we need to conduct ourselves better. We need to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in situations that's going to get us in trouble. And then 3 hours later, John Morant's putting a video up of him brandishing a gun. So,
so he was not. There was no charges were laid because the police said they couldn't find a crime being broken.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So I believe he's still in. He is still suspended indefinitely.
And I think that it's tough because there's a social aspect to sports with these sport players. In all sports, we all have a history. We all have a place that we came from. We all have, our crew, or, maybe we made a bad mistake along the way and we owe somebody something or whatever. Right. But there's so much of that noise that follows these guys. And in Ja's case, I'm not Ja, and I don't know that this is the case. This is just me, especially being a dad from the outside looking in. This was almost a cry for, hey, I am real, and I don't know. It sucks because he's a phenomenal player, and to see off the court stuff be the focus, I hate it for him.
Yep.
So, hey, Ray.
Yep. Good morning, Ray.
And then Sean Kemp too.
Yeah.
Dismal had brought him up earlier. He's not facing any charges. I guess apparently he was shot at from a car in a shopping mall parking lot and then returned fire. I don't know why, people keep putting themselves in these situations. But man.
I think Ray wants to spank Ja. This is what I think Ray wants to do the spanking.
Right over the knee.
I think Ray wants to. Yeah, I think.
However, Memphis without Ja Morant upset Golden State the other night. I don't know if you want to call it an upset. I think Memphis is better than them in the standings.
Oh, don't say that in front of Ray Sherrod. That's still them there.
I know Dylan Brooks was all up in Draymond's face, telling him that he was a bum. So.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps up the stories this week, Jeff. We need to get into your 5 guesses this week. I hope you're ready because I got a doozy for you. I told you last week I had a doozy for you.
Yeah, well, I got a doozy for you. I got a doozy for you next week.
You know what, Jeff? You need to focus on this week, okay? Just focus on this week here. Don't worry about next week yet. Just focus here. All right.
I like giving the questions. I don't like the guessing part.
You know what?
I do not like this. Every other week, I don't like this segment. I like to give the question.
I also prefer to give than to receive, Jeff. That is good of you. All right.
Kind of
this week,
what Carly tweeted.
Your 5 guesses are around the top 10 most annoying sounds.
Oh. All right.
The top 10 most annoying sounds, Jeff.
Oh, my God. Okay, this is not a guess. I'm going to say David Wilson's voice. That's not an official guess.
That was number 9.
That's just, okay.
I'm just playing. I'll tell you what number 9
That's a fact. That's just fact. That is just a fact. I am going as my number 1 guess. It has to be number 1. Where's my I don't have a chalkboard, but nails on a chalkboard.
Nails on a chalkboard was number 5.
What?
Yeah, number 5.
What?
Yep.
I got the chat hidden for now, in case anyone's yarping in the chat.
Crow Resin said someone eating crisps on Discord.
Oh yeah, Crow. That good call, Crow. That has to be number 1. Yeah. There's a theme to Crow and I in our guesses. You see, there's a theme.
All right, so you got the 5th one.
Lawnmower at like 7 a.m. when you get woken up by your neighbor mowing their lawn at 7 a.m. Is that a thing?
Lawnmower is a thing. It's not on this particular list, but it was on another list that I saw.
Okay, all right. That doesn't bother me, but I know
There's
a
some
lot
really
of
specific things in here, so that's why I said it was a doozy. Ooh, Ray. Ray is going hard.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't have the chat up, so I can't.
That's fine.
Oh,
a couple of them in here. I'm like, what?
Those guys with the souped up cars and the mufflers, and they're making those, when they're at a stoplight, and they're like making those annoying muffler sounds.
No, that's not one.
These are the ones that annoy me. Those are the ones that annoy me. I think on a chalkboard was number one. Wow.
Yeah, I told you it was a doozy.
Those are my three. Annoying.
I'd like to know what Purple Haze thinks is the most annoying sound. I'm sure she has a few stories.
Some of them
Crow,
are
you and Ray are killing it. Maybe.
Why am I having I don't have the chat up, so I have no idea.
Jeff lost his hearing 10 years ago, so he doesn't remember what things sound like.
Pretty much. I'm trying to think what
most annoying sound. Purple Haze.
Somebody in a theater making sound, talking in a theater, talking during a movie.
Not on this list.
Fuck me. Wow. This is gonna make for a shitty short. Wow. Those are annoying sounds to me.
You are bad.
One more. Then there's 11 messages in the chat I have not looked at yet. I'm gonna have to go back and pop these up to see what's going on. I know this is not on the list, but that train sound they make at Buffalo Bills games. When you're at a Buffalo Bills games and they make that annoying train sound on third down, my sports producer hates that. And he didn't even know it was a thing until we were at the stadium, and that's all you could hear. And now whenever he watches a Bills game, not that he watches Bills games, but that's all he hears now. He can't hear anything else other than that annoying sound that he didn't know existed until we went to a damn game. That is my fifth guess, and I'm clearly out of guesses, and I clearly have no idea.
All right, here we go.
Let me bring up the
chat. Let's look at the chat first. Look at the chat. There's some good ones in the chat that are actually on the list.
Okay.
I want you to read specifically Purple Haze.
Someone eating Chris on Discord. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good call, Ray. That is a good call. Yeah. I went with Wilson. Car alarm. Oh, car alarm. Yeah, we have no crime here in Canada, so we have no car alarms. So I forgot about baby crying. See, fun fact, I was actually having dinner.
Baby crying is on the list.
Is it? Yes. I was at a restaurant, and I was on a business trip or something, and this family apologized to me when they were leaving. I said, for what? And they're like, well, our kid was crying and making noise. I went, sweetie, I didn't even hear it. If it's not my kid, I can, you're a parent, if it's not your kid, your kid's exactly crying, any other kid, you don't care. It's not, you don't hear it.
I tell you what, though, it's weird. Sometimes kids' voices sound the same, and I'll hear a kid be like, Daddy, and I'm like, what? Dog barking.
Dog barking. Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's a good one. I didn't think of that one. I'm not going to show Ray's. You'll have you'll need proof that I'm an old man. Like shout out to Ray Sherrod joining me in the 50 club. He's now officially an old man. Train? Ray? Train? Just a train? I didn't find that annoying. Train? Train on the list?
No, it's not.
Cool.
No, get through these chats, and then I'll read it to you, and then
most annoying sound. Okay, Purple Haze. Tell them Chucky. Okay.
You didn't know what that was, Jeff?
No.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear. My wife's bringing me my socks. She says it is time to roll. Okay.
What are
Top
those?
10.
What are those?
Someone peeling the plastic off or socks?
No, socks. What?
Oh yeah, socks. They go on your feet. They keep your feet dry when they're in your shoes.
No.
This is from the Journal
No,
of
see, that's the sound
Neuroscience.
Crow. That is a sound you will never hear. You will never hear
Yeah,
that sound.
but that would make you cringe.
Ray's mad.
10,
I'm not showing his answer.
This top 10 is from the Journal of Neuroscience.
Mine are
Number
all silent.
one.
Mine are all silent and deadly. So
number 1 was knife on a bottle. Number 2 was fork on a glass. Number 3, Jeff, was chalk on a chalkboard. Number 4 was ruler on a bottle. They love the bottle.
What?
Number 5 was nails on a blackboard. Number 6 was a female scream. Number 7 was a disc grinder. Number 8 was squealing brakes. Number 9 was baby crying. And number 10 was an electric drill. Now, on the flip side of that, they give you the top 4 most pleasant sounds. The most pleasant sound that you can hear is applause. The second best sound you can hear is a baby laughing. The third is thunder, and the fourth is water flowing. And that is this week's top 5.
I don't know what they mean by ruler on a
Don't
bottle.
ask me, Jeff. Don't ask me, Jeff. I just asked
like,
the question, and Google told me.
And stuff on the bottle, and they sounded great.
Rubbing a ruler down a bottle, I've never seen anybody do that, so I don't understand that one.
Yeah, with a ruler on my butt, maybe. I know Ray likes a ruler on the butt, but
who still uses a ruler? that's the better question.
I didn't understand how. I would never have gotten any of those. I didn't understand any of those. At least mine yet.
Well,
good.
You did it, Jeff. You got through it. That was a tough one.
That was a tough. Chalk. I don't even know chalk.
I didn't even know 3 of those existed. So
anything with the bottle, I had no.
Drinking from the bottle, blowing in the bottle. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's it. Yeah. And what were the pleasant sounds? Water, thunder. People don't.
Water, thunder, applause, and baby laughing.
People don't like thunder because they're like, oh, there's thunder, and then if there's thunder,
I like thunderstorms.
I do
thunderstorms
too,
are soothing,
but not everybody does. There was
I
was out shoveling the snow during the last snowstorm. There was during the day literally thunder. While I'm shoveling the snow. I'm like, oh,
that's awesome.
Okay, boys.
Well, I'm sorry that I've got to jump quite so early, but we've got to get about an hour away. My daughter has a soccer game. Gonna go represent for the 2022 SWAC champ, Holly Springs.
Oh, I thought that meant high school.
Hawks. There it is. Woo!
Wow, look at you.
I'm all decked out. I got all the school gear, so we're gonna go hopefully watch this. There's a cool little tournament going on. They call it the Brittany. There was a girl that passed away several years ago, unfortunately, and she was a soccer player at a high school. So they put on this event every year. And she was abducted. That's what it was. I apologize.
Thanks, Riley.
Worse. And she will forever be remembered this way. So
yeah, Riley keeping you honest.
That was Carly.
No, they sound the same.
Yeah. Well, Riley's already gone. She's on the bus to the game. So
they all sound the same to me.
All of them.
It's all screeching. Some sort of screeching.
So good show. Can't wait till next week. We got good stuff to talk about already. So
we do.
That'll be good.
And I already got my list for you to guess. And it's a good one. And when I was going through it, my number one was number 1.
I know all my answers already. So
excellent. Mine is at least shit you've heard of.
Maybe we should take a bet. Everybody should just bet on whether I'm going to get it right or not.
I forgot to
fix the script afterwards.
Oh, I forgot to do the thing, folks. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please, no wagering.
There you
forgot to do our disclaimer before. Forgot to do the
Yes.
disclaimer before.
Well, you might as well do it at the end. So
I want to thank
as long
Crow
as it's,
and
as long as
Ray.
it's during the show.
I want to thank Crow and Ray for getting up early to watch us. Purple and Drew Diggs and everybody else in the chat.
SPG, Wilson.
SPG. Hopefully SPG feels better.
Bruce was in there. Dismal was in there.
I know Bruce and Dismal. I'm sure I'm forgetting people because I can't scroll back up any further to see what's there. I don't have it
All
open,
good.
but appreciate you guys spending an hour getting your coffee, spending an hour. Like even Ryzak went with the big mug today.
I did. I had to get the big cup today. So
it is. So we will see you same time next week. I will be around gaming all weekend. There is sports to watch. First I have to go shovel snow. I got to do one more pass of the snow. We haven't brushed off the cars yet, so there's like this much. I showed Ryzak a picture. I share a picture. There's this much snow on top of the cars.
You guys all have a great week and an even better weekend, and we'll see you soon. Yes.
See you next week.